What's up, Bills Mafia? You already know what time it is. The Buffalo Bills are always looking to get better. From the front office to the field, this team is working around the clock to bring Western New York a championship. Every move, every rep, every signing is about one thing: winning that Lombardi trophy. Before we dive into today's blockbuster news, do me a quick favor. Smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on notifications so you never miss a single update from the world of the Buffalo Bills. Let's ride. All right, let's talk about the big rumor that's been heating up. Trey Hendrickson to the Bills. Yep, ESPN just cooked up a potential trade scenario that would shake the AFC to its core. Let's break it down. So far this offseason, the Bills have made a few key moves at edge rusher. They let Von Miller walk and brought in Joey Bosa. Now Bosa's got the talent, no doubt. But here's the catch. He's already banged up. A calf injury has him sidelined until at least training camp. That's not great for a guy we're counting on to help us pressure quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. Enter Trey Hendrickson, Cincinnati Bengals star pass rusher and certified game wrecker. ESPN's Dan Graziano dropped a spicy trade idea. The Bills send a 2026 second-round pick to Cincy and get Hendrickson in return. Now, hold up. Before we get too excited, Graziano himself admits the Bengals probably won't bite on just a second rounder. Hendrickson is too good and they know it. The dude has 39.5 sacks over the last 3 seasons. That's elite production. The Bengals will likely want more, maybe an extra pick or even a player. So what's a realistic offer? Graziano suggests a second rounder might not be enough, and he's right. But what if the Bills throw in AJ Epenesa? He's in the final year of his deal, has starting experience, and would give the Bengals a viable replacement on the edge. That sweetens the deal, especially if the Bengals are really ready to move on from Hendrickson. And let's be honest, things are ugly between Hendrickson and Cincinnati right now. He's frustrated with the lack of a new deal. The Bengals haven't budged. Hendrickson has gone public saying he won't show up without a new contract, and the tension is rising. He even said it becomes personal at some point. That's not something you want to hear from your star defender days before mandatory minicamp. So why would Buffalo even entertain this? Simple. Super Bowl contention. Imagine this front seven: Ed Oliver, Daquan Jones, Greg Rousseau, Joey Bosa, and Trey Hendrickson. That's a quarterback's nightmare. That's a front that can get to Mahomes. That's a front that wins playoff games. But here's the challenge, and it's a big one. Money. Hendrickson is due over $15 million this year, and he wants an extension, one that pays over $28 million per season. Let that sink in. That's top-tier pass rusher money. Buffalo, we've got just $1.6 million in cap space right now. So Brandon Beane would have to work some serious cap magic. 2026 and 2027 cap outlook isn't super friendly either. The Bills are already projected to be over the cap next year. The only saving grace is 2027, where they'll be about $45 million under. So maybe, just maybe, a backloaded deal could work. But it's tight, really tight. Still, if Beane can pull this off, Hendrickson might be the final piece to get this team over the hump. We're not just talking about winning the division. We're talking Lombardi or bust. And while we're talking about impact players, how about a little update on a familiar face? Tre'Davious White. That's right, Trey White is back in Buffalo. But it's not a given that he walks into the CB1 spot. The Bills used a first-round pick on cornerback Maxwell Hairston, and word is he's turning heads already. White had his first press conference back, and let me tell you, he was nothing but class. He said getting back into Sean McDermott's system was easy. 90% of it was the same, he said. But he's not sleeping on Hairston. In fact, he praised the rookie like a true vet. He has God-given abilities. With the coaching here and the resources, it's only a matter of time before he's one of the best corners in the league. That's high praise from a former All-Pro. Trey also reflected on what it's like to be a rookie first-round corner. The pressure, the expectations, the vets who helped him, like Kyle Williams and Lorenzo Alexander. Now he wants to be that same mentor for Hairston. And how about the new defensive coordinator, Bobby Babich? Trey said it best. Nobody can say he didn't earn it. Babich started as an assistant DB coach when White was drafted back in 2017. Now he's calling the shots. White says Babich eats, sleeps, and dreams football. And it shows. Trey's time with the Rams and Ravens last year gave him some fresh perspective. He says he's back in Buffalo not just as a better player, but as a better leader. And with Christian Benford solidified on one side, that CB2 battle between White and Hairston will be one to watch this summer. All right, let's talk about the elephant in the room. James Cook, the 2024 season. Cook exploded, over 1,000 yards for the second year in a row. A ridiculous 16 rushing touchdowns, which tied a team record. The guy was dynamic, electric, and easily the most explosive piece on our offense. But here we are. It's the 2025 offseason. OTAs are underway. And there's no James Cook. Now, we're not saying it's officially a holdout, but let's be real. He hasn't reported to voluntary workouts. And the word on the street is it's all about the money. And you better believe he's been active on social media trying to make sure fans, media, and the front office know exactly how he feels. So where do the fans stand on all this? Honestly, this is one of the most split topics we've seen in a while. From social media to sports talk radio to the comments right here on YouTube, Bills Mafia is divided. Let me break it down for you. Most fans seem to fall into one of three camps: never pay a running back. This group is loud. They believe RBs are replaceable, plain and simple. And statistically, they've got a case. Look at guys like Chuba Hubbard, Tony Pollard, even Bucky Irving. All productive backs, all drafted outside the top 100. So why pay big money when you can find solid production for cheap? Pay the man now. Then you got the opposite. Crowd. They see what James Cook brings to the table. That burst, that vision, that home run threat every time he touches the ball. These folks say, lock him up, keep your playmakers, and give Josh Allen every weapon he can get. Pay him, but not too much. And finally, there's the growing middle ground. These fans like Cook, they want him to stay in Buffalo, but they're not willing to pay him top-tier running back money. They're saying something like $10 to $12 million per year would be fair, in line with guys like Aaron Jones or Alvin Kamara. Now, Cook reportedly wants closer to $15 million a year. That's a big ask. And that's where the drama kicks in. Let's talk numbers. General Manager Brandon Beane has already been busy this offseason. Khalil Shakir got extended. Greg Rousseau, Terrell Bernard, and Christian Benford all locked in. The one guy still hanging out there, James Cook, and with good reason. Right now, the Bills have about $1.6 million in cap space. Not much room to maneuver. On top of that, Buffalo is projected to be over the cap in 2026. So even if Cook is worth the money, how do you make it work? You'd probably need to move some pieces around, maybe restructure a deal or two. Or, and here's where things get tricky, you let Cook play out the final year of his rookie contract and hit the market in 2026. But if he goes off again this year, that price tag might only go up. Now, let's not forget, and the Bills did draft Ray Davis, and Ty Johnson has shown flashes too. So some folks are saying, hey, we already have the guys in-house, but let's pump the brakes. Ray Davis is a rookie. Talented? Absolutely. But we don't know yet if he can shoulder a full NFL workload. Ty Johnson? Great complimentary piece. But is he the guy you want taking 250-plus touches in a playoff chase? Cook gives you something different. He changes the defense's game plan. You can't teach that kind of burst, and you definitely can't fake the kind of chemistry he's built with Josh Allen over the last 2 years. So where does this go from here? Right now, we don't have clarity. Cook hasn't shown up to OTAs. We don't know if he'll be there for mandatory minicamp. And from all reports, the sides aren't exactly close on a number. Could Beane find a compromise in that $10 to $12 million range? Maybe. But that depends on how flexible Cook is willing to be. And here's another angle. What kind of message does it send to the locker room if you don't pay your most productive offensive player? Especially when you've handed out extensions to a lot of other guys this offseason. That's the balancing act. Keep your stars happy, stay under the cap, and still build a roster that can finally beat Mahomes in January. So Bills Mafia, let's bring it home. Trey Hendrickson to Buffalo, it's a long shot, but not impossible. If Brandon Beane can work his magic, and if the Bengals lower their asking price, the Bills might just land an elite pass rusher in his prime. It would be a statement move, one that says we're not just contenders, we're coming for it all. And Tre'Davious White returning as both mentor and competitor. That's the kind of leadership championship teams are built on. Now, I want to hear from you. Would you trade a second-round pick and maybe AJ Epineza for Trey Hendrickson? Do you think the Bills should go all in to make this deal happen? And who should start opposite Christian Benford, Trey White, or Maxwell Hairston? Drop your takes in the comments below. I read everyone. Let's keep the conversation going, like only Bills Mafia can. And before you go, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those notifications. We've got camp battles coming, trade rumors swirling, and a team that's hungry for more. This is your home for everything Buffalo Bills, and we're just getting started. Go Bills!